reveal. Join us as we journey through pixels and lore. From self-growth tips to world events galore. Gaming discussions, nothing's off the table. Grab your controller, we're ready and able. It's a wild ride, no need to stable. Welcome to the Nutty, where minds intertwine. Unraveling theories with laughter and kind. From gaming to growth, we keep it real. So tune in right now, let's start the reveal. Peanut and Skip, we're here to stay. Join us on this ride, come laugh today.
Welcome, Pretty Mick. Welcome. He's starting
It's
shortly.
The Nutty podcast, pull up a seat. Peanut and Skip, Star Hopper, bringing that heat. We're diving deep in the games we play. Conspiracies lurking every single day. Talking about life now, ain't that neat? Welcome to the Nutty, where minds intertwine. Unraveling theories with laughter and kind. From gaming to growth, we keep it real. So tune in right now, let's start the reveal. Join us as we journey through pixels and lore. From self-growth tips to world events galore. Gaming discussions, nothing's off the table. Grab your controller, we're ready and able. It's a wild ride, no need to stable. Welcome to the Nutty, where minds intertwine. Unraveling theories with laughter and kind. From gaming to growth, we keep it real. So tune in right now, let's start the reveal. Peanut and Skip, we're here to stay. Join us on this ride, come laugh today. It's the Nutty podcast, pull up a seat. Peanut and Skip, Star Hopper, bringing that heat. We're diving deep in the games we play. Conspiracies lurking every single day. Talking about life now, ain't that neat? Welcome to the Nutty, where minds intertwine. Unraveling theories with laughter and kind. From gaming to growth, we keep it real. So tune in right now, let's start the reveal. Join us as we journey through
Retired
pixels and
firefighter.
lore.
Be there shortly.
From self-growth tips to world events galore. Gaming discussions, nothing's off the table. Grab your controller, we're ready and able. It's a wild ride, no need to stable. Welcome to the Nutty, where minds intertwine. Unraveling theories with laughter and kind. From gaming to growth, we keep it real. So tune in right now, let's start the reveal. Peanut and Skip, we're here to stay. Join us on this ride, come laugh today.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Nutty podcast. Thank you for joining us for episode 10, guys. Myself and Skip just went over at least brief shortly of what we can do for this episode 10. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's well. Thank you, everybody, for joining. My name is Peanut. I got Skip to my left. It could be you didn't mute the Discord, the share the screen. Really? Shouldn't. Hello? Can be a real streamer without issues. So, all right, guys. So this episode's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna touch upon a couple things we've already talked about prior, like "Am I the asshole?" uh, like movie to game references, stuff like that. But we're gonna give it a small twist. This one we're gonna be calling villains who were kind of right. Skip is muted, is he? All right. How about now?
Why? Why you
There it
mute
is.
me? Is it because I'm the better half of this podcast?
That's weird. You
Why
had a
is it how
double
it is?
mic going on right now. That was very strange. Yeah, this one, I don't know. I was feeling like tiling the villains who were kind of right. Skip just said we got to a rough start. You want to elaborate?
Yeah, no, to preface this, it's more or less the are they really a villain? And yes, Mick, kind of like the Thanos thing. So the first one he said was Magneto, and immediately we had differing opinions. So okay, do you want to start off?
I'll jump back to Magneto. So let me give you this. Let me give you this idea. So do you remember how Black Fridays used to be? Not how they are now, because everybody's online, not really going to the store. But do you remember how they used to be?
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I saw. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So how do you feel Thanos would be like if he were to be working Black Friday at a Walmart or a Best Buy, Target, any of these stores? They get pretty buck wild back in the day for a regular Black Friday. Do you think he would have a point for him to even do the snap himself?
I don't understand how this correlates. I this is such a confusing question because I don't understand what exactly are you asking, would Thanos still do the Thanos snap if he worked Black Friday?
If he, would he be justified to do the snap if he were to have worked that Black Friday of how crazy it gets?
How okay, how does hold on. Because no matter what, that has nothing to correlate with the Thanos snap, and this is like I
Well, think
Peanut, I
about it.
don't know.
If you've ever worked a Black Friday, how hell it gets like back in the
No,
day.
I have. No,
Yeah.
Peanut, I have. For those of you who don't know, I actually used to work at a Salvation Army, and Black Fridays sucked. But here's the thing: his whole point is to take out half the universe because there's a finite amount of resources. It has nothing to do with a hatred for people. Like, so I okay. First off, I'll say Thanos. I don't think is okay. I don't know the comic books, and I feel like this is more of a troll question. I don't quite understand the point of this question, but like, okay, I think in Endgame, right? Endgame wasn't before Infinity War, or was Infinity?
It was
Whichever the
Infinity
first
followed by Endgame.
Infinity Wars, I would say Thanos is not per se a villain in the normal sense. Yes, he does want to off half the population of the universe. It's still a bad thing, but like it's understandable in the sense of doing one bad thing for the greater good. Still not great. Still technically a villain because obviously, he, I mean, normally a hero's not going to kill people, especially if it's Marvel portrayals, however you want to do that. But like, it had nothing to do with the Thanos or the Black Friday and his hatred of people. Like, he didn't hate people. However, that does bring me to the next point of in Endgame, where he like, this is now personal because essentially they fucked with time and he couldn't do the thing, and it's a whole other thing. Mick, I would justify the snap over stubbing my toe or my pinky toe. Like, all right, fair. You know what? That's fair. But like, I need to know where are you going with this question?
So sometimes, depending on what they believe in, it can be, let's say, even for Thanos, how they said only the worthy can pick up the hammer. What if in his ideology, he was able to pick it up because in his mind he was worthy.
No, it doesn't
Oh.
matter. It's not his ideology. It's after the hammer. The hammer chooses. If you do not follow the ideologies of the hammer, because Mjolnir is technically sentient, it doesn't matter.
But can
Or
it
it
tell
goes off of
what's
Odin's.
good versus bad, or does it just portray whatever worthiness might be?
It,
Because how Pretty Mick is saying right there, Odin.
yeah,
If
it would
you
be
know the ideology behind Odin, that he was basically like a warmonger at one time because he was just conquering places till eventually he stopped at a point and said, "This is what
yes,
I'm gonna. This is the only place I'm gonna do." And now there's peace.
but okay, but hold on. I don't know. Okay, I don't know how we went from a Black Friday sale to this part of the conversation, but like we're gonna circle back to that. I'm telling you right now. However, I believe Mjolnir is an extension of Odin, but I think Mjolnir does take on a sentience of its own, even though it's mirrored by Odin. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in chat, but like the whole thing of Mjolnir being taken away from Thor was basically Odin trying to teach him a lesson. So with Odin dead, but Mjolnir still around, it is somewhat Odin. And anything that anyone the hammer would deem worthy would go off of who Odin thought would have been worthy at the time of making Mjolnir, but that's like a whole nother thing. But again, how does this correlate with the Black Friday sale?
So with the Black Friday sale, is that uh, I understand he's trying to get it so everybody can get a better life, more food, more resources, stuff like that. So him getting annoyed of everything that he's viewing, of everybody unable to get every single deal that they want. Let's say he just focused on just that Walmart. If he was able to X out everybody in that Walmart, would they all be able to get the specials that he's looking for? Versus,
Brother, dude, you're fucking with me. Is this the episode where you just fuck with me? Like, what is? Oh, did you have a stroke, brother? Thanos didn't care about people getting deals. He didn't care about one planet. It was the whole universe. Why would Thanos, a
this is more of
base
this is more of a comedy skit style.
bro, this isn't comedy. You're gonna give me an aneurysm because it's just like I can't process the thoughts from going, hey, could you imagine Thanos working at a Walmart? Would he just, Thanos have half the people in the Walmart on a Black Friday so they can get better deals? What? No, brother. Before the Infinity Stones, the dude was basically a god. Let's be real. The moment he got the Infinity Stone, if why would he be at a Walmart if he had the Infinity Stones? Even if he
He wanted
had,
to retire.
even if he was missing like one, like dude would not be in a Walmart or working retail. Like what? Okay. Anyways, so okay, we've established Thanos did bad for what he believed was a good reason, and now we've gone to Mjolnir, who is able to judge people. So okay, please continue.
All right. So we're gonna go back to what we were talking about even prior to stream, where we brought up Magneto. So let's call this segment the Nutty Hall of Villains. So basically, we're gonna rate different villains to where you would deem them between 1 through 5. One being terrible, 5 being misunderstood.
Okay, so 1 is bad, 5 is good, essentially.
Essentially. So let's say Magneto. With
Wait,
every
I have a question. Why didn't we do a tier list for this? You literally could have been like, "Hey, Skip, can you make this for me real quick?"
I
We
was
literally
I
could have
wasn't
had a
fully
whole
prepped
tier.
because I didn't know where to get
Okay.
every headshot. I didn't know
Okay.
if you just have to take a bunch of screenshots or anything. I didn't know how that worked.
Okay. I mean, kind of. But all right, go ahead. So Magneto.
Let's say Magneto 1 through 5. For everything that you see, different background stories on different movies, different shows, whatever it might be, 1 through 5. Is he misunderstood being number 5 or 1 really, really bad? According to
Okay.
Chef Mike, he sees him as a 5. He's misunderstood.
Okay, but here's the thing.
We'll get him next time.
It doesn't.
What's up,
Okay,
evil
just because
chicken?
bad is done to you doesn't mean that you can do bad to others and it makes you a saint. Like, okay, if you're talking like so I'm not a huge comic book uh on oh my god, I was gonna say entrepreneur, like I'm not like
Enthusiast?
super into huh.
Enthusiast?
I was thinking more expert. Like I'm not an expert on the comic books. Like I've seen the movies, I've seen bits and pieces of comics, I've read a little bit. Like here's my thing. In the first like 3 movies of X-Men, it's literally he is doing to normal humans, non-mutants, what Hitler did to the Jews, and essentially it shows that later on in movies where he was in concentration camps,
Mhm.
and it was a whole master race thing, and then Magneto eventually wants mutants to uh overthrow the human established government. And it's like, okay, I understand shit happened to you. Now you're fighting back, but you're just as bad. It's like, oh, we want peace. Okay, well, that's what Professor Xavier wanted, to kind of to coexist with humans. And it's just no, Magneto. I would say Magneto is. I'll give him a 2 because I don't think he's the worst. I do understand he has a very complicated past, and then everything kind of changes with the timeline, and that gets all crazy.
Start
Oh,
to
interesting.
So, me personally, yes, I do see your point where if bad was done to you, you shouldn't get to that level to where you reciprocate with the same amount of evilness that someone costs you, which, yes, he was in concentration camps. He was stripped away from his mother, and she was killed in front of him, and he got a chance to live. I understand that part. He essentially tried doing the same thing in his version to just mutants is the only way. Eventually, on the shows, because this you do see different sides of him on the shows, where he eventually just has his own place and says, "This is our mutant continent. Do not f with us. This is where we're gonna be at."
Yeah,
And
but eventually that all goes sideways too.
exactly,
And
but
here's
the
the thing:
reason it went
the government.
sideways,
Hold on.
the,
The government in those movies are also the villain. So it's just villains trying to kill villains. Like I understand that, but continue.
yes, but from what it was, how you're saying, that went to hell. The government got involved again, where they tried attacking him. Like, oh look, now we got him in one place. Let's take out all of them. If it wasn't for that, I feel there would have been a lot more peace, where he'd be the leader and just say, you know what, nobody f with us. This is where we're gonna be. That's it. But then
Yeah,
people still got
that's what
involved.
but that's what Professor Xavier did too with his school.
But
That's the whole
he
thing.
incorporated them to be with the humans. Magneto just said, "Just leave me alone, me and my kind. We'll just stay over here. You stay over there." Xavier wanted us to coexist together. That was it.
Yeah. It- okay. Where do you rank Magneto?
I think I probably have him at a 4. The reason being because he's not
Okay.
completely good on it. Because what you learn in history is that if you don't know your history or if you don't abide by history, you're doomed to repeat yourself. So he was doomed to repeat himself with the Hitler stuff. Because look
Okay.
what he was doing. So I agree, he's not fully good on it, but he was misunderstood
I
because he could have got away with just this our content, don't mess with us. If they didn't get involved again, who knows? That could have been the end of the story. Boom. We have our own island. That's it.
okay. I thought you were gonna go the other way with that argument for a second. Okay. All right. I I mean, it's still so he averages out to a 3 between the two of us. All right. The Nutty podcast rating, he's a 3. Okay. What's the next one you got?
So let's go to a movie that's out nowadays. Not sure if you've seen it. It's more of a play that's going on. It's the other side of um
Are you
uh,
talking The Wizard of Oz?
yes, it's the other side of Wizard of Oz.
Alphaba?
Yes, I say
Alphabet?
Alphaba from Wicked. And
Again,
mhm.
it's again, bad things happen to you, and then you start doing the bad things to other people. Like, I know I've never seen it. I just know she turns into the Wicked Witch and then seeks revenge for her sister being crushed by a house. Like,
Well, yeah. So let me give you at least some background onto this. So I've already seen it. Basically, she went from being this normal
well, hold on.
girl. Mhm.
Before you say that, I'm gonna say the Wicked Witch, literally a 1. Literally a 1. Her name is the Wicked Witch, and she tries to kill a girl. She tries to basically subjugate the Emerald City, and she makes the flying monkeys her slaves. So, like, hey, she's into slavery. So
But
go ahead, continue.
what you do have to remember, there's always two sides to every story. So this is how
Okay.
her story had begun. Per many different books, and I understand, Chef. You do think a tier list would have been easier, but this is how you wing it sometimes, and you get at least a little bit more fight out of it. So I see her more that there's a different side. The different side was she was a normal girl who ended up getting screwed by Oz. How the story portrays is that she was sleeping with Oz, the mother. The mother had a kid out of wedlock, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, so she had a kid out of wedlock. She happened to have she was basically cheating on her husband, had this kid out of wedlock, and he thought it was hers, but he thought that something was wrong with her. She was drinking this weird green potion that just ended up making her green. She became an outcast that nobody appreciated. And everybody just saw her, oh, there's something wrong with her. Something's wrong with her. Like, she's an outcast. Get her out of here. Eventually she gained some friends out of it. It's a whole plot. Um, but when she did go to the Emerald City, she did have some kind of magic that she gained from this elixir that basically turned her green. And then because she didn't want to do what Oz wanted her to do, she got considered a villain because he's supposedly the president or whatever it is in that location, that country. He's the Almighty and deemed her unworthy. You're a villain now. So she tried exiting that, getting out of there, escaping. She was an outlaw at that point, and not because she chose to, by force. So some of these characters, like say Magneto,
Again, though,
was he a villain by force? Was he built into
again,
it?
though, it's bad things happen to you, and then you start doing bad things to other people. You're not a good person. I'm going to use this example that I think our good friend Ed will appreciate. Batman, he literally watches his parents get gunned down in front of him and then ends up being a vigilante that fights crime. I mean, yes, there are versions where it's like, uh, what is it? It's the mom and Bruce get gunned down and his dad becomes Batman, but he like straight up murders people. I forget which, I think that's Flashpoint. But again, just because bad shit happens to you doesn't mean that you can get away with doing bad shit. It's the same thing IRL. Like, you can't just start doing shit because you've been wronged. Even though we would love to do that. We live in a society. The whole point. And again, she might have been bullied as a young woman. She literally enslaves a race of intellectual beings to do her bidding. I'm just saying. Again, yes, thank you, Ed. It was Flashpoint. Again, her name is the Wicked Witch. Like, she couldn't have been like, hey, let me go do charity work or some shit in the land of Oz.
Yeah, but
Okay.
she was deemed that title after. She was just known as Alphabet until Oz deemed her the Wicked Witch.
But again, she played into that role. She literally proved him right.
So far in the movie and the books is that she's trying to overthrow this guy. So that's the reason that she's being deemed this villain. So there's still
So,
more to it,
so
but
wait,
right now she's trying to
he's
overthrow
oh wait,
that.
was she trying to overthrow him before she's deemed a villain?
When she found out who he really is. So when he showed his true colors to her, but he hasn't shown that to the public because the public doesn't know. The public still sees him as a hero.
Okay, but is she given the title of the Wicked Witch before she's basically excommunicated?
No.
So okay, so she's given it after
Yes.
she gets okay. And she was trying to overthrow him before that or after she was deemed?
She is trying to now. She basically tried escaping after he tried imprisoning her and said you can't leave anymore because you don't want to do what I said. And when she tried escaping, all of a sudden, hey, now she's the Wicked Witch. Everybody be against her.
Okay, so Wicked Witch is a villain. I mean, you could really say Wizard of Oz is a villain, even in the original movie before the whole Wicked thing came around. Um, and then the people in that world are just sheeple. Like, it's cool. Okay, so you just brought up a whole nother villain, the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, the Wizard of Oz, basically a dictator. Again, they're all bad people. It's the government being bad in the land of Oz. Just because shitty things happen to you doesn't mean you can be shitty to other people. This is like the whole thing I've been saying. The Wicked Witch gets a 5. I'll even say the Wizard of Oz gets a 5. They're all bad people. Like Magneto, at the very a dictator, yeah. At least like Magneto, it's like he has some couth about it, but as far as I know, like the Wizard of Oz is just like, don't mind the man behind the curtain, and he does some shit. He's like not even magical. He has like no reason to, be in that point of power. It's just he's a con artist from the very beginning. It's like the whole thing. The dude gaslit a whole entire city, if not a whole entire civilization, because he's heard throughout the whole land, even in Munchkin land, the dude's a piece of shit. Like objectively, you know what? I'll say the Wizard of Oz is a 5. I'll give Elphaba, I'll give her a 4 because she's a byproduct of Oz and she cannot be as bad as her own creator. So that's where I stand on that one.
Okay. I'll take that.
Let's talk about how Superman is a villain. I mean, if this is Peanuts episode, he prepped for this, so I'm letting him
No,
roll with the
but
punches.
actually, you said he was a 5, so you got it backwards. 5 is good, basically.
Oh, then he's a 1. She's a 2.
Okay. I'll mark her a
Then
3.
Magneto's a 2. Oh, well, collectively, the Nutty podcast has deemed Magneto a 3.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, some of this script that I was coming up with, it came out pretty interesting. It said that Magneto is honestly Malcolm X of metal powers. I didn't come up with that one. I did not come up with that one.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
According to this, it came up with something for me. It said, Magneto's honestly, he's just Malcolm X with metal powers.
That's what I thought you said, and that's a fucked up comparison. That's so fucked.
That's why I didn't come up with that one. I just wanted to read out loud how some of these guys pretty interesting.
Okay.
Retired firefighter
right,
says he's a 10.
Yeah, you are, buddy. High five.
And Pretty Mixed saying, how about Superman's a villain?
Well, I mean, is it so? Like I said, this is you're steering the ship right now. I don't want to steer you off course too much. If you want to go into Superman, I'm down.
Yeah, we can say how Hero falls and goes into the dark side, because that was going to lead on to my next guy.
Okay, but wait. So are we doing Superman, or are we going to the next thing?
We can touch upon this point.
Okay, so if you're talking Superman as a villain, because I know he gets, I think it's there's I don't know if it's Flashpoint or not, but I know like there's 2 instances where Superman is technically like, actually no, 3. He's a bad guy.
Bizarro?
Yeah, Bizarro World. There's a universe where Lois Lane gets murdered and he loses his shit. And then there is, I don't know if he's a villain in this.
He's like Red Star Superman or something like that.
Yeah, he's communist Superman.
Yeah.
And by default, as an American, if you're a commie, you're bad. So it's as a villain, when he is deemed a villain, and that's the role that he plays in the show or movie or comic, whichever one. Yeah, he's just a bad dude. When it comes to like Lois Lane being murdered, okay, I would give him a 3, maybe a 4, because like.
But do you have to be vengeful against everybody, or can you just be vengeful against the people who caused it?
Well, again, you're doing shitty things because something shitty happened to you. But like when it's like, oh, your wife is murdered, like, okay, I get it. It's not really an excuse, but like you get it more than, oh, there's a finite resource, or it's, oh, we want to be the master race. It's like, no, you just lost your shit, and that part of your humanity died because your wife died. That I get more. But if we're talking just normal ass Superman, I've seen a couple of things where it's like, it's Superman as himself is like fucked. He's so Okay, so Mick put Ella. I was talking about how he's an alien who's essentially a god among humans and defrauds everyone with an identity assumed as a human. There is a kryptonite that does change Superman to bad. That was from Ed. So I saw a thing where it's like Superman, like Kryptonians actually don't look human, and that his parents were actually going to kill him when they found him. But the pod basically did like a Men in Black mind wipe and was able to like shapeshift him into a human form. Where it's like, okay, so Kryptonians possibly are an invasive species. Where it's like they blend in with humans. I don't know how true that video was.
I've
It
never
was
heard of
very
that one.
interesting. I don't know if it's true or if it was like a fan made thing, but it was really well done.
Could be fan. I've never
So
heard of that one.
let me see if I can find it real quick. But yeah, it was uh like it was almost like, you know, like a squid thing.
Yeah, because
Uh
they've shown videos of his parents, even during the animated series. That's why I was like, wait a minute, what? No, not true. Martian Manhunter was that. That's what a retired firefighter said.
so like I said, I don't know how true this was. Uh but it was okay, hold on. I think I might have found it.
So where would you rate him when he does turn to the opposite side? Where would you rate him 1 through 5? One being
I mean,
the worst, 5 being misunderstood.
oh, I mean, it depends because they vary so much. Again, if you're going just off of base, like if you're going off of just base Superman, I mean, basic Superman, obviously he's a hero and he's trying his best to live up to his father's like standards, his rules that's set because like obviously he learns from somebody. I think Superman's fine. I don't think he would really belong on this scale, but like if we're talking the villains, I mean Bizarro or like whatever the kryptonite is that changes him, like that's basically you're dealing with a super crackhead. Like he didn't get the right rocks and now he's like tweaking.
Or did he get the
So
right rocks?
I mean, the right rocks. I don't think there really is. I know there's one that turns him gay, which I think is hilarious. That's an actual real thing.
Yeah, I know. They made
Um,
a supposedly a show that's coming out for it or a comic.
so I think that's pretty funny. There's this. But like, if we're talking like Bizarro Superman or Kami Superman or Lois Lane gets killed and he turns into the dictator, I guess I would have to kind of put it middle of the road because there's different variations of it. So
All
I
right,
just
so
put it
so
as a
in
3.
general, we got a 3. Same thing. Retired firefighter, same. Pretty mixed if fabulous. So he said pink kryptonite is what gets him like that.
Yeah, Pink Kryptonite is the one that makes him fabulous.
All right, so let's lead over to this one. Anakin
Yeah, I'll see if I can find
Skywalker.
that later. Oh, fuck that dude. I hate him. He's such a whiny bitch. Put him at a 1. God, I hate Anakin. He's such a bitch. I'm ready to move on to the next one. That's all I have to say.
So
Bro, I
you,
fucking
so
hate.
you
Like,
didn't.
here's the thing,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this comment. Star Wars, fucking mid, sucks. It's always the same story. It's a whiny, bitchy kid that has to get up and do something, and the whole fucking time, all he does is bitch and complain. That's all I have to say about that.
So the reason
Luke
I,
Skywalker makes out with his sister. Fucking backwoods hick.
so the reason I brought up Anakin, uh, they're saying that the Jedi is actually evil. The reason being, because they get children, they pull them from their family, say you can't be with your family anymore. You got to do this way. So They got children stripped from their family for basic child labor, kind of brainwashing them. This is what you need to do to be part of the force. So you can gain knowledge of the force, this entity that this is the lifestyle that you live, kind of like a cult. So this is the reason that they're saying that he might be justified on trying to stop the Jedi's from doing what they were doing.
No, okay. Here's the lowdown on Anakin. Anakin is just a bitch, dude. Because here's the thing: he wants to be with Padme. Literally, the only thing is, hey, don't have any attachments. He could have just been banging Padme the whole time, with no repercussions of just like, hey, this is a good time, and he could have just still been a Jedi. But no, he had to be like, oh, I love her, I can't let her die. It's like, dude, you literally made everything about you, and then you bitch and complain when it doesn't go your way. Crazy. And you talking about cults. What was the Empire? The Empire was literally making people go and fight their neighbors. Okay, let's talk about IRL societies. Okay, you had oh my god, what is it? The Ottomans that use, and it's funny because I just was learning about this the other day. It was Vlad the Impaler and his brother. They
AKA
were
Dracula.
Yes. Okay. They were sent as basically hostages to the Ottomans, who would keep them so that their father would basically take over and have peace. And then eventually, Vlad went back to take the throne, and then Vlad's brother, he stayed and converted to Islam, and then they were at war again, but it was brother against brother. It's literally it's a tale as old as time. It's basically each society needs an army. Simple as that. Spartans would just beat the shit out of their kids until they toughened up, and then make them the strongest soldiers that they could possibly be. So the fact that you're saying that being a Jedi was a cult, like, no, it's a militant organization disguised as a religious sect. That's really all it is. But I mean, what is the Empire except people who don't have the Force that are doing the exact same thing? Like, the Jedi didn't go around just killing everybody and putting fear into the hearts of civilians to basically say, hey, you're doing what we're saying or you die. Like, they would do like humanitarian missions too. So no, Anakin's a bitch. He's like one of the worst of the worst. And that's all there is to it. Also, you didn't rate the other ones we talked about.
I did. I rated Superman at 3.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't remember you saying it because now I'm all worked up because I can't stand Star Wars. Like, I get it. I get the fandom. Like, I understand. I'm a nerd too. I like space stuff, but like, Star Wars is mid. All right, next one. Where are you ranking Anakin? It better be a 1. It better be a fucking 1.
He is a little prick about it because you don't have to kill the kids that are learning. Yeah, you don't have to kill the children that are learning. You can save them. In your mind, if you think that they're being like manipulated, save them. Get them out of there.
Mick, I don't watch Star Trek, so like Mick spoken like a Trekkie.
I read that.
Like, okay, I have no like, I've seen the Star Trek movies and I was entertained. Wasn't my thing, but like, hey, cool enough. No, I was more of a Stargate kid. But yeah, okay. Where did you rank Anakin? We kind of got off, or I wasn't paying attention.
I think he had a good idea, but he went way too far where he shouldn't have. but he kind of
Yeah.
tries redeeming himself by helping his son. I'd bring him down from that 1 to a 2.
No. That's Darth Vader. That's Darth Vader.
All
That's a
right, all
different
right.
character.
If we're just going straight Anakin, okay, 1.
All right, fair enough. I didn't watch, but I was going to rate Skip a 3 on the list based on that. Wait, why am I getting? Are you rating me a 3? All right, man. Okay, what's the next one?
All right, who's someone that you would be able to relate to that you think in any kind of movie, any game that you think is misunderstood or has a chance to be misunderstood?
I mean, putting me on the spot like that, I'm drawing a blank on everything I've ever watched or known. I get well, okay. So like there's Dexter, not Dexter's Lab. I know someone's gonna make that
No, I
joke. I was
know.
waiting for you to
I
even
I
get it.
no,
Dexter
I know where you
Morgan.
went. I haven't seen the show, so I don't have a real opinion
Yeah.
on this one.
But I mean, again, it's well, so he's a serial killer that kills serial killers.
Okay.
But like I mean, everyone who watches it roots for Dexter because it's and I knew someone was gonna make that joke. I appreciate you owning up to it. But like if we're talking like a legitimate, like meant to be a bad guy, but like you kind of sympathize, I can't really
But
think
like
of
his
anybody.
ideology just happened to be like it makes sense for his side, but you're more of a villain in the entire world's eyes, at least from
Well,
what they see.
I mean, he knows he's doing bad, but his father gave him a set of rules to abide by to make it so he could basically adapt to the world the best he could. And like the whole show portrays him kind of as a hero, but obviously he's being pursued by the police. Um, God, I'm trying to look at my books to see if I have anything that spurs an idea. Like, I guess nope, still drawing a blank. I'm trying to force a thought. Nope, it's not coming. The only other characters it follows the same lines as Dexter would be the main characters of Butcher and Blackbird or Leather and Lark or Scythe and Sparrow. They're all killers that kill killers. Well, actually, no. The last Scythe and Sparrow, she is a carny that kills abusers. But she's not good at it, and she tries, and then luckily the main guy helps her. But he's the brother to a serial killer and a hitman. So that's kind of but again, they're portrayed as the main characters. It's portrayed in a fun comedy setting. Um, God, I don't know.
All right, let's say
I mean,
this. Have you
we
seen
moved much
Black
different.
Panther?
Yes, it's been. I only seen it once. It was a very long time ago.
Do you remember the character Killmonger?
Yeah, again, it just falls under. It just falls under the bad things were done to you, so you do bad things. However, I wasn't Killmonger supposed to be the king at some point, or like he was a prince at some point, or something like
He
that.
is technically a prince because the king who had passed away was the brother's son. So it was the king's nephew that basically nobody even knew that he was around.
Mhm. So here's the thing: technically, in that aspect, he's not a villain. He does have the right to challenge the throne. That is a very like medieval political thing. He is slightly a villain on how he gets to that point. So I haven't seen the movie in a long time. The only thing I remember is like I didn't really care for it. However, the scene in Seoul I thought was badass. Like that was a sick scene where it's the cars driving through Korea. I'm like, that's fucking badass. And the fact that
Your
Andy
camera
Serkis
went
is
away.
in it.
Let's see.
Everything's up on my end.
There you go. Somehow you disappeared. I just got you back in.
Yeah, no, everything works on my end.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird like camera thing. I was able to get you right back in.
Okay. But yeah, it's like I would give Killmonger if it if it wasn't for him, because he kills Andy Serkis in that movie, right? He kills the arms dealer.
Yes.
If he didn't kill Andy Serkis, I'd give him a 4, but I'll give him a 3. Just because I love Andy Serkis in anything. Andy Serkis is one of my favorite actors.
Okay.
So if he didn't do all the bullshit to get to that point and just challenged for the throne, because wasn't he like a soldier? Didn't he like go to the armed forces or something
He
like that?
killed many. He was basically a like a black ops style guy who they'd send in when things couldn't get fixed. He'd be the cleanup
Was
guy.
he a mercenary or was he a part of like?
Mercenary.
Okay, so he wasn't like a U.S. operative. Okay,
He was more of a mercenary where he's the
I
guy
mean
you
that
send for
kind of.
cleaning up stuff.
But like, who did he kill? Is the thing because like I said, I haven't seen the movie in a
Manny.
long.
He
No, no,
has
no, I
a
know.
yeah.
But like, did he kill like women and children, or was it like, oh, these are other soldiers that I killed or other warriors? I think it was only other warriors, right?
My understanding, it's just whoever was a enemy of the state, or whoever they told him like, hey, you have to do a hit on this guy. So I think it was only like more political and anybody who was a danger to others. So yes, it could be that anybody who they had to take out that was bad.
Um, so he is deemed a supervillain, supposedly. Uh, Strange. Okay, but like, who did he work for? That's my question.
I just
Um,
saw your message, pretty Mick. That's actually pretty good. He gave me a different set of tier lists on how we can grade them.
yeah, he sent that when we first started. Okay, Killmonger worked for the mercenary Ulysses Clow to advance his plan overthrowing King T'Challa and take over Wakanda. He's also allied with Wakabe. Killmonger. Okay, but like who? Killmonger initial part teaming up with Wakabe. Killmonger ultimate goal. Okay, I would have to do a deep dive, but like, yeah, he's a mercenary. Mm, There's a lot of backstabbing to get to the point of becoming king or trying to become king.
Mhm. A lot of it.
Yeah. So like, I mean, if you're doing a bunch of like shady shit and backstabbing stuff, honestly, because I don't know too much about him, honestly, just reading that, I give him a 2. Because it's like if you're killing all the people that you're aligning yourself with, you're kind of just a piece of shit. Even if you are a villain.
Okay. So where would you rate him from that 1 through 5?
A 2.
Okay. I think I gave him a 4 on that one.
I
So
mean, a
let me
3
see.
average, I guess. Okay. All right.
Mm,
Who's the next one?
Let me see. Let me try something game related. Let me see if I could find one real quick. Is there anybody in games that you might think might have had a good thing behind them? They got portrayed as the bad guy from the beginning, and they just lived up to that role.
Um,
Like one of them says here of Mass Effect. I don't know if much about Mass Effect, so I don't know who might have been on there that would portray that.
I mean, so there's a whole thing about Mass Effect that no matter what the main character is affected by the Reapers, and like the whole thing is. I don't know how true that is. I know it's like a fan theory. That it's like no matter what, you're actually the villain because it says anyone who comes in contact with the Reapers is infected by them or something like that. So that's again that's just something that I had seen, something I had heard. I don't know how accurate that actually is, but if we're talking gaming, oh man, I'm just gonna scroll through my games and see if anything clicks. I guess the only true misunderstood villain is me when we play Bat Bat. But yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. There's so because I play so many games, and like the thing is, it's like I I didn't prepare for this, and like having the questions like this where it's like I have to go through my Rolodex of games that I have, and then try to remember the ones that I've played that aren't on my computer that I played years ago. Um, God, I'm just scrolling through my games at this point to try and even come up with a
like let's say this.
single.
Have you ever played any of the Pokemon games?
Yeah,
Have you played like Diamond Pearl, any of those?
maybe.
There's the one with Kyogre and Groudon on the cover.
Then no,
Yeah,
no,
because that'd be
I don't
like
think I do.
Sapphire and Ruby. Some of these
Okay,
games, so they're portrayed on trying to make the world better, but they're part of an evil organization from what people say. But some of them are trying to make the world a better place to where uh, they can have full control of what this should be to where it's a utopia of them living together with all the bigger Pokemon, not just being separate. So they want to change the world. On Ruby, he wants to basically light everything on fire, volcanoes going off all at the same time, restart the world. In Sapphire, he's trying to flood the world and kill all the evil and restart anew with everybody who survived. In their mind, their ideology is they want to reset it to have a pure Earth to where
wait,
it's
you're talking
basically
the Pokemon,
uh,
the God Pokemon.
yes, they're trying to utilize them to fulfill their mission.
Oh, it's the people trying to use the. Okay, because I thought it was like you were saying like the Pokemon themselves want this.
No.
Okay, but wait, hold on. If we're talking about that, we might as well just talk about Entei then.
Okay.
Because from what I remember, Entei was gonna like destroy the. Well, then there's Mewtwo also. He kind of did the same thing. Pretty much at a certain point, when you've become more powerful as a Pokemon, there's a certain level of magnetism to it, where it's like, oh, we will become the master race. Yeah, eventually all Pokemon turn into Hitler.
So you're saying Pokemon, the first movie, Mewtwo is Hitler?
Yeah, dude, he's gonna wipe out the humans again. Master race things, like the moment you try to make a master race, you're turning into Hitler. Magneto, Mewtwo, Entei, kind of a pattern.
So
What's
where
the
were
other one?
so let's rate these on a three different scale. Let's say not the villain, morally gray, or full nut job. Where would you mark them?
For which ones? The
All right,
Pokemon?
let's say Mewtwo.
Okay, but here's the thing though, because Mewtwo is basically an abomination made by man. I mean, technically, because he's a clone of Mew, but like
Correct.
they fucked up his genetics.
Hmm.
So essentially, it's kind of now you're dealing with more of a Frankenstein's monster thing because Frankenstein's monster isn't actually the monster, as is the doctor himself. So literally, so is Ditto. Is Ditto a man-made creation?
They yes. So background behind them. Some people believe that that was um, the first version of Mewtwo prior when they were trying to make him clone from Mew. They're thinking it's a failed experiment. That's some
Interesting.
background behind what they think Ditto might be.
I would say Mewtwo. What was the scale? It was like nut job,
Yeah, we got
morally gray.
not a villain, morally gray, full nut job.
Because technically, Mewtwo in the movie, Mewtwo's only like a couple of days old. Like he's basically
There's
has the
a
power.
there's another part of the story behind it, behind Mewtwo when he was in the capsule. He had four friends. I believe was a Squirtle,
Oh,
a Charmander, Bulbasaur, and this little girl. Her name was Green.
okay, but like here's the thing, right? Because essentially he's being developed, and he only really exists outside of the tube for a couple of days, so he doesn't like it's basically the brain of a baby with the power of a god. So I would honestly, I would say uh, Mewtwo's not a villain.
Okay.
He doesn't go through with it. It's he's just a misunderstood child. So yeah, Mewtwo, not a villain. Not a villain. I'll say it.
Okay. I think I could agree with that because I think it was close to morally gray. But then he doesn't go through with it, but he's enlightened at the end.
Well, take it from someone who enjoys the morally gray men. He's not morally gray. He's like he's going to kill because he thinks it's the right thing to do, but it's only because he's basically a baby. Okay, and then what was it? So we talked about Entei again. A whole nother thing because Entei, I believe, is like a dream creature that comes to life or something like that. Or
Talking about the
it's
third movie,
been a long time. Like the last time I seen that
the
movie,
one
I
with
was
the unknown. Yeah, that's episode
yeah,
3 or
like
Pokemon
bro,
3.
I think I was like 12 or something like that. So again, doesn't go through with it, but they don't understand because they're animals. Basically, they're animals with almost human intellect, but they don't quite understand. Um, Entei, I would probably say not. I'm just gonna say all the Pokemon. They're not technically villains. I mean, I know there's in some case there is technically bad Pokemon like Meowth. Just Team Rocket's Meowth because he knows he's doing crime. He's bad at it, but that doesn't make it okay. So Meowth, I will say, is a villain.
Okay, let's see. All right, so how we've done "Am I the Asshole" before? This goes outside the realm of the movies, all that stuff, the games. This is
Okay.
just real life. This is this one's
Okay.
called "Am I the Villain?"
Oh, we're doing this. Okay.
So, am I the villain for deleting my roommate's save file after they beat the high score?
This is just am I the asshole?
Yes.
This is just am I the asshole without saying am I the asshole?
Yes.
Changing the swear word to am I the villain?
Yes.
Okay, yes, they're an asshole for doing that. Again, bad things happen to you. Doesn't make it right to do bad things to other people, even if we really want to.
And these just like just quick ones. So, am I the asshole for cosplaying as a villain at a kid's birthday party?
Is that what the kid wanted? If so, then no. If not,
No,
then yes.
it was
That's
just a
hilarious.
regular kid's birthday party.
That's, I mean, yeah, you're kind of an asshole, but also that's hilarious. Like, I kind of rate that. That's funny as shit.
How about am I the asshole for saying Thanos is right at work?
No, we do have a finite resources, and that's going to become a problem eventually. Yeah, it's a fictional character though, so it's not like it has any real world repercussions.
All right. Let's see. What else do I got in here? All right, we went through most of it actually. Anything else you wanna input on here?
Not that I can think of.
Anything book related that someone might be understood?
I mean, well, okay. When you're asking me that, technically, most characters are understood in literature because that's kind of the whole point of character development and growing as a character for someone to make them relatable. Like if you take Harry Potter, the movies came out where like as each movie came out, it was kind of along the same lines of during that generation when it first came out that they were growing up, so they became relatable. I don't know how the books are portrayed, but like, and again, I'm reading books that a lot of normal people won't read. So, misunderstood, I get the only book that I could say that really, really touches on the topics that we talked about is Heavenbreaker, which is mech jousting. There's no spice in it whatsoever. It's a uh, sci-fi novel, and essentially it starts out with this young woman murdering her father. Well, her birth father, right? Because he leaves her and her mom because she was, I forget the relationship. Basically, she was like a maid or something, and he's like upper tier society, and essentially he puts out a hit on his daughter and the mother because some of the other high ranking families find out and they want the problem taken care of, and she survives. So it's like she's misunderstood until you get all the facts about it, but like she gets part of her revenge. Like she planned on killing her father and then dying in his mech to basically kill him and then embarrass him, right? Because the moment that they would find out that he has a bastard daughter, it would kind of like dirty his name, but like that's not like the whole thing of it. She ends up getting this like she draws the attention of a guy that basically who wanted to kill her father as well, but wanted to ruin his name. And she basically makes a deal with him that for every win that she gets in this joust competition, he kills off somebody who had something to do with her mother's murder. So it's like, yes, she is misunderstood, but she is also justified in being the villain because I think she is like 17 in this book or something like that. Like she's pretty young. And like adults who become villains, it's kind of like, really, you couldn't have just grown up, moved past it. It's like when you're a child or where you're um like immature in that sense, it makes more sense that they want to be do the bad thing, but it's only because they don't know. So that's really the only one that I can come up with right now. By the way, if you haven't read the book or listened to it, it's a good book. It's really good. Um, yeah, other than that, I don't think. I mean, if we just want to talk books, I'm more than happy to talk about some of the books. Um, but then we're kind of getting off the main subject that we were doing here. But I know we're going for a whole nother hour because we usually do a 2 hour episode.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like let's say this one just popped in my head, which it's just out of the blue, so I don't know if this one's gonna make sense or not. Have you seen the movie 50 First Dates?
no. Oh wait, with Adam Sandler, yes.
Yes.
For some
So
reason, my brain went, was it 16 dresses or something like that? It's like,
no,
no, I've never seen that. Wait a second.
so 50 First Dates. Is he the villain for trying to convince his girl to fall in love with him, even though she has short-term memory? That sometimes he wins, sometimes he strikes out. Is he the villain for being consistent and trying to force that relationship in there, and eventually making this tape that this is what we do with our life, this is how you fell in love with me, and kind of tricking her every day? Maybe she might not like him every day, maybe she might.
Thank you, Mick. It was 27 dresses. Haven't seen that one either. Okay. So I would say he's not a villain because he has good intent, and eventually he convinces her father and her brother that he's worth it, because he's not doing anything malicious, because he's not like banging her every chance he gets and then she forgets and then trying something new. It's he's doing it to spend time with her, so he's not like a total creep.
But he's trying to
So
force it in there that maybe that's not what she
no,
wanted, and then she kind of gets convinced that this is what you do want.
but he okay. I I understand that, but again, I think it's more or less the whether or not, okay, because then basically that falls into hot or pretty privilege, right? Because it's I'm going to use 50 Shades of Grey as an example.
So you
Do you
think
know
Adam
anything about
Sandler
50 Shades of
is actually worthy of pretty privilege? Because we did talk about 50 Shades of Grey last time, where you're like, it's okay because he's pretty, so I'm able to do this. Do you think Adam Sandler is
Grey?
attractive enough to have pretty privilege? Hey,
But
your camera went away again.
not not to us. It's something on your end, man, because I'm not touching anything.
What the hell? Let's see.
No, I think it's the Streamlabs.
Might be.
Yeah, because we're both gone on Streamlabs.
Let me see. I'm gonna send you a different link. Give me 1 second.
Okay. That fix it.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just Streamlabs.
Could be. Well,
Um,
we've used the same link over and over. I don't know if it just had to be a new link now.
hold on. Hold on. Because now it's back to doing the doubling. So okay, we should be good. But yeah. So here's the thing though, because like I'm just going to make an assumption that you don't find Adam Sandler attractive. So we as the viewer do not find Adam Sandler's character attractive. However, Drew Barrymore's character does in some capacity, which is portrayed throughout all the instances of Adam Sandler trying to figure out what her deal is, right?
Hmm.
So again, you have to account for, if this person's attracted to them, if it's creepy, if, there's malicious intent. So 51st Dates, I would say no. I don't think he's a villain. I think he's an idiot, but that doesn't mean that he's a bad person. Because at a certain point, if you find somebody, and it's one of the. This is gonna sound super cheesy. That if you find the one, it doesn't matter their circumstance, right? So the fact that she had memory loss doesn't bother him enough to not pursue, because the person she was before losing her memory obviously was a good person, because she was like a kindergarten teacher, a painter. She was creative, she was loving. It's like a whole thing. So yeah, I don't think he was a villain in that context.
Okay, where would you rate him from the scale we've been using? So you'd rate him
The one
a five?
was 1 to 3.
The five.
A 5, because I don't think he's a villain, because he's not like he's not hurting anybody to try and win the love of this woman. It's he's trying to figure out what her deal is, and he just has an extra hurdle to jump to figure it out. But if we're using that context, we could really go through any sort of romance movie, novel. Like, okay, is let's say the okay, so Butcher and Blackbird. It's two serial killers who kill serial killers that have a competition. But like the whole time, it's he wants her and she wants him, and it's like, okay, well, is he the villain for wanting her because she also kills people? Like, is that a red flag? Like, it's just more or less the same thing. Hi,
Yeah,
Aggie. Did you hear Butcher and Blackbird and you were just like, huh? Yeah? What? Like Beetlejuice? We're kind of on we're kind of on books now, but like we're also still on the are they a villain? Um or like so there's what is it? The next book, which is Leather and Lark, which is my favorite of the three. It's he's a hitman, and the female character is also a serial killer, and she turns her victims into art, like resin art, and it's a goofy thing, but like he's a hitman because he made a deal with somebody to basically cover up him and his brothers uh killing their father, because he was a very bad man and he almost killed one of the brothers, and that's the whole thing. But it's just like, okay, either way you look at it, are they the villain? They're a victim of circumstance, sure, but like he she needs him to find who's killing people in her family, and she's just using him, and eventually falls in love. Is that, in that perspective, are they both villains when it comes to, the whole romance thing? I wouldn't say so. I think they're villains because they're murdering people, but that's like the whole book. So I think when it comes to the whole romance thing, it's just for entertainment. Because you can watch a Hallmark movie or get like one of the cozy books, and it's just like, oh, we just randomly met. Oh, we fell in love. Oh, it's nice. But IRL, that a lot of the stuff that you read in a book or see in a movie, it's not happening. So to say that the whole Adam Sandler thing in 50 First Dates, I don't think so. If that happened in real life, it might be different, because again, it's IRL and she has memory loss, and people in IRL are a lot creepier than people on a screen. Let's be real.
True.
So it's all for entertainment purposes. So I don't think. What do you think of Adam Sandler in 50 First Dates? Do you think he's a villain then?
So if you're trying to compare IRL, let's say the people that try, like, let's say this is gonna be complete left side of the ballpark. Um, someone who
Like the whole Black Friday comment you made at the very beginning.
yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
let's say people who try getting with the girl who just out of context, try getting with a girl who has Down syndrome just to try getting that because she let's say those TikTok videos that keep coming out and they're saying it's a filter. They're like, oh, she
Oh
looks
my
like a
god.
baddie, this and that. Let's say someone who actually tries taking advantage of someone like that.
Hold on, wait, hold on. For context, if no one knows about this, this was a fucked up thing that happened. This is a real thing. You can look
Mhm.
it up. Basically, you would have OnlyFans models that would use the Down syndrome filter. This is a real filter to try and boost their sales on the site.
Mhm.
And it worked. That's the most messed up part about the whole story. But yeah, no, go ahead and continue.
So let's say the people who try like, oh, I can do that and start making jokes about it, which I think they're horrid jokes as it is. I get it. Sometimes I have dark humor, but that's just horrid if that was a real person that has Down syndrome. If
Mhm.
when they're like, "Oh, if she's down, I'm down." Like I see comments like that. And let's say if it was like that kind of scenario, like she has a mental instability that she has memory loss compared to yes, this person was born with it having Down syndrome, but she went through a traumatic thing that now she has this handicap that she can't control. And he's trying to force his way into her life, even though yes, it's for good intentions, but he's trying to force his way into her life even when at one point she was like, you know what, leave me alone, but he was still trying to fight for it. Can it be that in IRL would that be actually a romantic movie, or would that be more of a stalkerish thing to where that guy does become the villain IRL?
I mean, that's not really a stalker thing. Like if you like, I mean, it's again. I already prefaced that people IRL are a lot creepier than anything you'll see on a screen.
Agreed.
So if we're talking IRL, I think it's odd. Um, but if we're talking just the memory loss thing, I mean, yeah, I think IRL the person would in most instances would be a villain. However, I do think it's possible to essentially have some sort of real connection with somebody even if you do have memory loss. And then the whole like Down syndrome thing, I mean, I don't like yeah, you're looking at comments on like Instagram and TikTok. Those are going to be the most disgusting comments because
Hmm.
I mean, all you it reaches out to all the worst people in the universe,
It does.
right? So I'm sure, and I've seen it where it's just like they're a normal couple, one has Down syndrome, one doesn't. It's, I mean, it's they function pretty much like normal people. It's there's nothing, there's nothing wrong with the person per se as a person.
But I'm
So
talking
why?
about like the people who try doing that just to get in there and say, "All right, bye,"
Oh, just the
because
people that smash. Yeah, that's
because they're
fucked up.
filthy
That's for
animals
real.
on that concept.
Yeah, but if you're yeah, but then you're just narrowing down because we were talking about like a controversial thing of someone with good intention. But yeah, if you're just narrowing it down to the people with the bad intentions, of course they're villains. It's the bad intention.
Because it also goes down to like grooming. Because let's say if they just clicked and everyone was perfect, I understand that can happen anywhere. Anybody with a handicap,
Yeah,
I get it. Someone who gets married and one of the spouse happens to be on a wheelchair, but you fall for them. That happens. It's life.
yeah, and that's a more or less a normal thing. But if you're talking like the memory loss stuff, like again, it comes down to the intent. Is it a good person with good intentions? Is it hey, they're they have a wheelchair. They're they were a veteran. They got blown up in Iraq. Whatever. Like yeah, it's obviously that person has been through some shit, but it doesn't mean they're not deserving of love. But again, the whole we were talking about the memory loss thing because that's kind of controversial of is that person truly aware of what they're signing up for and who they're interested in. But like if you're narrowing it down to just the people on the internet, the people on the internet are the worst. I mean,
Mhm.
look at us. We're here.
True.
But no, it's if we're just going off of IRL, 99% of the time IRL, I'll say they're a villain because not a lot of people have good intentions these days.
That's very true.
And I would rather be wrong in thinking someone's a bad person to finding out that they're a good person than assuming that everyone is good and finding out that they're the worst of creation.
Like Pretty Mick right there said, they found and took advantage of a niche. What about people who paid for it? Seems like a touchy subject, to be honest.
Like if you paid for it, you're a sick fuck. Like I mean obviously they got scammed, which I think is hilarious. But also the whole
The
situation.
person putting out the content's bad too.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I can still get the joy out of a shitty person scammed a bunch of other shitty people, shitty sick people, and that's the only positive thing I can get out of this conversation about it.
Mhm.
Because everything else about it, disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
Agreed.
So, but if we're going back to just for entertainment purposes, like the fictional things, here's the thing. Um, Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. Do you think there is a villain in that context? Either it be Romeo or it be Juliet.
Hmm. I'm trying to remember the play right now.
Basically, it's the Montagues and the Capulets are a warring family, and like
It's Forbidden Love, and yeah.
yeah, but like Romeo, I believe is like a number of years older than Juliet, and convinces her that they're in love with each other. Like he only like talks to her once, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm in love with this person, and it ends up them. Uh, she stabs herself in the heart, and he takes the poison because I forget the ending of it. It's been so long because it's like she was going to, or he was going to end himself because she wasn't going to show up or something like that. It's a whole thing. But basically, uh, if I remember correctly in the context, because I had a conversation with someone who was like a Shakespeare, like quote unquote expert in a sense. Um, and he basically gaslit her into wanting to run away and end themselves.
Yeah, because I got another one that just came out of what you were saying. I have another
Mhm.
book slash movie that will correlate also with Am I the Villain? Or not Am I the Villain, but are they the villain out of the story?
Okay.
So once we're done with the Romeo and Juliet, I know you should know about this one at least.
I mean,
This got
it's
covered in
pretty
high
much
school.
done because
So
I think Romeo is the villain.
okay. So I was gonna say The Great Gatsby.
Okay.
So you know the background between the movie and the book and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it happened to be this girl that
Gatsby.
yeah. Hmm?
Gatsby is a villain. 100%.
How he basically coerced the whole scenario
He manipulates everybody with his money and his charm. Yeah. And then it ends up blowing up in all of their faces, essentially.
with everybody
Yeah.
still getting killed and all this these things that were already established just broke down immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because the same person that was talking to Romeo and Juliet just berated The Great Gatsby as a horrible book, and it was really funny to listen to.
Really, I thought a lot of people enjoyed that book.
A lot of people do, but the person that I talked to, she's very, very particular on the details of a story.
Okay, was it your sister-in-law?
Yeah, it's my editor. And trust me, I hear about it with my story too. Especially when I leave off in the middle of a sentence while writing it, she was so mad.
You ever read that
I
book?
knew it's. I don't want to say it's good or bad, but it is iconic. So, but like, I don't know if I'd recommend it. You could just watch the movie. Be a lot shorter.
True.
Um, but again, it would come when it comes to like, because again, Gatsby is kind of a. I wouldn't say it's romance, but there are elements of romance to it. It is a lot of romance for the sake of trying to move a plot along. So it's not like an actual like romance story, but the romance is there as kind of a catalyst to move things along. So again, anytime you have romance, there is a very good possibility that there is a villain lurking in the wings.
Okay. How about
Um,
this one? And I'm not even gonna say who's the villain. You're gonna choose who's the villain in this one.
okay.
The Titanic.
I think the engineers of the boat are the true villain, and or the iceberg, either one. Um, well, okay. So I have not seen. Actually, I can't even tell you if I've ever seen Titanic.
Really?
I don't know if I've watched the whole movie all the ways through. I've seen bits and pieces. I know there's certain things. I've seen Thumbtanic, which is. Have you ever watched the Thumbs movies? There
No.
was like Thumb Wars, which was Star Wars. Franken Thumb, um, the God Thumb, which was Godfather, was so fun. They're so dumb, but they're so funny. At least from what I remember watching those as a kid. That was like my generation of brain rot. Because like I know Leonardo DiCaprio's character is like this rogue runaway who convinces the main girl basically to have a really good time. And then if we're talking of there's not enough room on the boat, I guess you could
But
say that the main
also
chick is
she's,
the.
if I remember, she's married during that movie.
I do not know. So I guess technically they're both bad people. I think they're both kind of villains. But I mean, I
And
haven't seen it.
we'll even end it with the most controversial part. Is there room on the door for Jack?
Scientifically, they prove that there was.
Like retired firefighter says she was married, so
She
she
was
was
to
to be
be
married,
married.
so she was
Yeah, so
engaged
she
at
was
that time,
engaged.
and she fell for this strange boy or man, whatever you want to say. During that time, she was having all this fun on the boat, and she wanted to run away with them. And then boat sinks. She gets on the door. He's holding on, says, "I won't let go." Ends up letting go. Was there room on that door?
Yeah, no, they literally scientifically proved there was enough room.
So
That
was
like
she?
that was
So was she an extra villain at that time? Because then she she basically played the guy that she was gonna be to be married to. So she was engaged to this guy. She screwed him by cheating with this other guy, and then eventually let that guy go. So she had no more evidence of her being with this guy anymore.
again romance plots. There's always going to be some sort of villain waiting in the wings. So I mean, I don't. Jack's a bad guy for not getting on the door. He knew there was room. He didn't want to be a dad. That's fucked. That's so funny though. I was low key kind of thinking that joke too. I mean, it's because why wasn't her husband to be there? Does it ever say?
He ended up escaping on a different boat without her.
So he was there the whole time,
Yes.
and the dude did not give a fuck about her.
He didn't realize that she was like sneaking off and doing other stuff.
So the dude's either an idiot, oblivious, or gay. Let's be real.
I think he was flirtatious with women as well, if I remember right. It's been a very long time since I've seen the movie.
look, if you don't know where your wife to be is, that's on you. And obviously, and I don't condone cheating. I do not. But like for the sake of the entertainment purpose of this movie, it's like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it. But yeah, no, Titanic, I don't think I've ever actually watched the whole thing.
So, chat,
But
who would you deem the villain? Would it be Jack, Rose, or the husband to be?
if he got on the door, it wouldn't have stayed afloat. Uh,
I don't know. I think they proved against it on Mythbusters.
I don't think it was Mythbusters, but I'm pretty sure that there's like actual scientific evidence. Well, he might have flipped it if he got on. Let's be real.
True, when he was trying to get on, he probably would have flipped it.
All right, is there enough? Was there enough room for Jack? The second one.
So, Eggy, Mick, retired firefighter. Who would you deem the bad guy? Mick already said that Jack's the bad guy for not getting on the door.
Yeah, but he said that jokingly.
I know.
I think though to be husband was the villain because he obviously couldn't satisfy the woman to stay there, and then that caused Jack to die. I say the girl's husband to be.
Okay.
He's the bad guy.
Jack is a dumbass according to retired firefighter.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I keep looking at my books like they're going to help me think of something, and it's just like, no, they're just there to look pretty with all their sprayed edges and specialty covers with their dust jackets. Which is funny because I just got more today.
Nice.
Yeah, Rose's man to be is the bad guy. Yep, we all agree.
Okay. Trying to think of other scenarios where we might get this, because I know
I
people
mean,
would go with like different ones like Magneto, where there's that good and bad side. But yeah, when you start dealing with you're trying to become this hero in your eyes, but it goes back to one thing that's always said in the movies or in the books, that you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
I'm. I mean, I don't. I don't 100% agree with that. I do understand the merit of that statement, but it's like I feel like that's a really easy cop out for like killing off a character. So like if we want to say okay, the who's the villain, I'm going to this is going to be some real deep nerd lore. Lord of the Rings
Okay.
is Sauron the villain.
Which one is Sauron?
Sauron the eye, because technically this is kind of a Mewtwo thing. Technically he is corrupted by Morgoth, I believe, because everything that I think it's Morgoth. I'm probably dead wrong. Everything Morgoth basically touches becomes twisted and corrupted. So Sauron, who created the rings, there, like if you watch the show, I don't know how accurate the show is to the books. There's a lot of lore in the books. Like he's a product of basically being cursed by Morgoth, and then essentially he gets his ring taken by I believe it's a Isildur, and instead of throwing the ring into the fire, he gets corrupted by Sauron's malice that's hidden inside the ring, which then he's killed. It's falls into the river and then is later found by Deagle, who is Smeagol's best friend, and then Smeagol wants the ring, so he kills Deagle, and then he loses his shit, goes and lives in a cave, so no one will take his ring. But they're all byproducts of the evil that was bestowed upon them in more of a magical sense. So are all of those people villains?
Mm, I don't know, because then right there now it sounds like possession. What you're talking about?
It is. So once a seal door takes the ring, then it's more like possession. It basically is. But Sauron, from what I understand, and mind you, I'm not an expert, I could get this all wrong. He basically becomes twisted by Morgoth. And there's a whole lot more to it than just that. And is Sauron the true villain in the movies? Yes, he is the big bad, but is he the biggest bad realistically? Because he is a product of evil. And if you again, this is huge nerd shit. Essentially, the orcs, I don't remember if it's the orcs or the Urukai, are basically tortured elves that are corrupted and turned into these monsters. And all of them become evil again because they're a byproduct of basically being cursed. So are the Urukai evil? Um, the Elephant Riders, I forget what the hell they are bad people. They're evil. They're 100% evil. And then if we're stemming from that, the have you seen? Am I just speaking gibberish, or have you seen Lord of the Rings, Peanut? I don't think we've ever actually had this conversation.
Bits and pieces, but no, I do know like the concept behind it. That's why, so I'm able to
But
follow.
there's so many things to Lord of the Rings because, and it's funny because I learned that there is officially two different languages of Elven that are recognized throughout the world, like IRL world.
Yeah.
It's Similarian, and I forget what the other one is, but Similarian stems from Lord of the Rings. And I'm just like, this is insanity. Um, but there's also the Ghost Army who didn't show up for one of the battles, so they were cursed to be undead and basically do one thing in the movie. But like the mere fact that they didn't show up to the battle when the king heeded the call, and I don't remember if they won or lost that fight, but they didn't show up, which I think in my brain I want to say that they suffered like tons of casualties, but I think they technically won the battle. But are those people villains because they refused to help when the time came?
Hmm.
I think the one true villain we can all agree on is Denethor in Lord of the Rings. And he's in the third movie. He's the guy with the little tomatoes. Please tell me you know what I'm talking about.
I can't recall.
He's Boromir and Faramir's father. Like there's this one scene in the third movie. It's just so gross of him eating these tomatoes. It's such a disgusting scene and I hate it.
Let's see. I found another one.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie Fight Club?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen Fight Club. I just know the dude's schizophrenic.
Yeah, this one would have been a really good one. So basically, thing behind it, guy lives in this miserable life. He really hates it, and he ends up coming with this alter ego that he doesn't realize it's his like a split personality,
Yeah.
and he ends up creating this cult like group that, hey, this is what we need to do to throw overthrow the government. This is the life that we should do. um and first he gets people by, hey, this is how you fight. This is how you take out your anger. This is how you can keep yourself from going crazy when you're at work or everyday life. And eventually, he builds his following to this is what we need to do. And there's all this stuff that's happening around, but he doesn't realize. He thinks there's all this evil around him. Like, why are you doing this? Why, like, what the hell's wrong with you? And everybody around him's like, what are you talking about? Like, you told me not to talk about this. You told me not, I have to do this. And eventually, he ends up taking out this like main like credit company at the very end. He ends up blowing it up because in his mind, even though he was the good guy throughout the whole thing, because you don't realize that he has a split personality, he ends up taking down this company that it has everybody's credit info and ends up wiping it just so everybody starts off fresh with no bad credit, no good credit, just fresh start.
I
So
mean,
he ends up
that's just
becoming
meant
kind of
more.
like an anti-hero.
I mean, that could be considered morally gray, but also he's also super mentally ill, so
Mm-hmm.
do with that information as you will. That's just, I think it's the credit card companies that are the villain in that movie.
Pretty much.
But again, it's just entertainment to progress a story. So whoever the villain is, obviously they're going to make a good villain. You have to make them relatable, right? So obviously it's like, oh, the credit card companies, the why this cat, this fluffy little bastard that just bites my toes. He got little feet. Look at those feet. Yeah, he got little toes. What? What? Yeah. Yes, kitties. But yeah, I think, like I said, if your villain isn't relatable, it's not a good villain. That's just it. So if you can't rationalize some sort of relatable thing to any villain, you're not doing your job as a writer, whether it's for a movie, for a show, for a book. Because, I mean, if we go back through all of them, it's pretty much every single villain, quote unquote villain that you mentioned, all went through some sort of suffering. As humans, we're kind of born to suffer. It just depends on how well you can convey the suffering of a fictional character to be relatable to an IRL person. So if you're taking Thanos, it's you don't want the world to end. You don't want the universe to end because it's he's doing the things that he thinks for the greater good. We've all been there where we've done something where we thought it was the right answer and obviously we were wrong, but we didn't know that till afterwards. That's relatable. Uh Magneto, he considered all mutants his family. Like we've all made mistakes for the sake of family. We've done it. We might have overreacted to something that someone did to one of our parents or brothers or sisters. We've all done it. Trying to think of who else we talked about. Alphaba. We've all had some sort of bullying done to us, whether it is online, IRL, whether we were a kid or an adult. We've all been harassed on in some level, whether it was just by friends who took a joke too far or it was some asshole that you met on the street. When it comes to villainy, it all stems from a place of relatability, and that's pretty much it. So, are all villains misunderstood? I think to a point. Does that make their actions okay? No. But like, when have we not been there where like we've wanted to become the super villain because somebody did us so wrong that it'd just be so nice to do the wrong thing. So yeah, that's my whole stance on the villains portrayed in books and movies and TV and things like that. But again, what the fuck did any of this have to do with Black Friday, Peanut?
He just didn't like working there. He was just getting so mad. Too many people.
Bro,
So
but
he's
why-
like, this is becoming crazy. People are attacking each other. They need to basically cut half of them so they're not attacking each other like crazy. Have enough stock for everybody. Same thing with food and resources.
It was so dumb. That was like the dumbest thing I think you've ever brought up to me. Like, why the Black Friday thing, I will never truly understand. So, I I think that's good. I think we could end this episode here before I lose my mind in the sinkhole of Peanut rationalizing Thanos at Black Friday. So, check out teamnutty.com for collab shirts and the podcast merch. You can find me on Twitch Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, between 11 and 12:30 Eastern Standard Time PM. Peanut has a random schedule. We don't know what he's doing, when he's doing it. Our next episode for the podcast will be in 2 weeks, which will be the 20th,
19th.
19th. Oh yeah, because it's Monday for me right now. Didn't realize. Okay. Anything else, Peanut?
No, pretty much. Thank you everybody for joining in. This has been episode 10. I appreciate everybody jumping in.
Are we sure about that?
I
Wasn't
am
the
sure
last
this
one
time.
episode 10?
No, last one was episode 9. So this was officially episode 10. I appreciate
Are
everybody
you
jumping
sure?
in.
'Cause the one before that was labeled as 10.
No,
And then the next
it
one
was
was
9 going
9.
into 10. Bless you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I had to
Hey.
double check it before.
You got
Aggie
stuff
says
for
she
next
got stuff. All right. Bless you, sir. But yeah, I
Dude,
do
I've been
appreciate
doing
everybody
four-
jumping in. This has been a ride. We're gonna go into episode 11 next. So check it out, guys. We'll be back soon. And how Skip said, he usually does Wednesday to Friday. Mine's sporadic. I might be on tomorrow. So check it out, guys. Always.
But we are doing the Minecraft server, so we kind of have an SMP thing going on.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Might be seeing more of Peanut in the server.
Yeah. Even if we're doing offline, you guys can join us. Just check it out, guys. We're always playing different types of games. We've been playing a little bit more Minecraft recently. I like fishing on there. I like getting a bunch of shenanigans from fishing. So we'll see.
Just wait till you build an auto fisher.
I was thinking if they had something like that. I was like, I wonder if they got anything.
The mod's in there. The mod was in there from the start. We have auto fishers that you can build. You build a little golem in their little hut, and then they fish for you. So mine fished for me. It is a fishing rod with bending, luck of the sea like 3, unbreaking 3, and lure 2. And I'm like, fuck
Oh,
yeah,
those
let's
are good.
go.
That's what I was hoping for, one of those.
So, but yeah. So
Oh.
until next time, guys, make sure you're taking care of yourselves.
You killed the golem that was by the original house.
Why do you hate the copper golem so much? I mean, hey, whatever. They're super easy to make. That's fair. All right. But yeah. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. Drink water, eat food, take your meds, all the usual stuff. Wishing you cold pillows and puppies and kittens.
Alright, guys. So we're gonna raid someone new. His name is Lefty. He's usually in Wolf stream and also Evil Chicken stream. So show him some love, guys. As you know, always let them know you're coming from Team Nutty. Remember, everybody who follows in here is already part of Team Nutty. So just copy the raid command, guys. We'll be going in, and I'm probably going to be streaming tomorrow. If not, most likely Tuesday. But I'll see all you guys soon. Thank you again for joining me and Skip through the first 10 episodes of the Nutty Podcast. and we're just keep going at it. Always new things. If you guys do want to put any type of input to the podcast, you guys want us to talk about any certain things, you can post it right there on the Discord. There's a specific channel for it. Eggy already says she has some stuff for next episode, so let's see how it goes. But once again, thank you guys. My name is Peanut, and this is Skip next to me.
Yep.
See you guys soon.
Also, if any of the homies want to hop into Minecraft right now, I'm hopping in.
Sounds good. I'll be in there. See you guys, and say hi to Lefty for me.
Bye.
It's the Nutty Podcast. Pull up a seat.
Why did my mic auto mute?
Peanut and Skip Star Hopper bringing that heat. We're diving deep in the games we play. Conspiracies lurking every single day. Talking about life now, ain't that neat? Welcome to the Nutty, where minds intertwine. Unraveling theories with laughter in kind. From gaming to growth, we keep it real. So tune in right now, let's start the reveal. Join us as we journey through pixels and lore. From self-growth tips to world events galore. Gaming discussions, nothing's off the table. Grab your controller, we're ready and able. It's a wild ride, no need to stable. Welcome to the Nutty, where minds intertwine.